In a jaw-dropping turn of events, Sniperwolf's seemingly unshakable world is finally crumbling under the weight of her own mistakes. Sniperwolf has had quite a journey, guys, and for a very long time, she might have convinced herself that she's untouchable. From stealing content, doxing, fake gameplay, a trail of bullying that even Azzyland couldn't escape, and just being tone-deaf mean to people. For a hot minute, Sniperwolf believed she could dodge the consequences forever, but boy, oh boy, was she wrong. It's a mess, y'all, so let's jump right into it. You see, for too long, Sniperwolf has been dancing on the edge thinking she's untouchable. Well, just when people had given up hope in putting her in her place, the universe had other plans, and the day of judgment has finally come. Oh, there's a judge involved for sure, and y'all are the witnesses, cause we're now headed to court. This, guys, this is the plot twist you never saw coming, and yet so many people are super happy about it. Okay, hold up, we're moving too fast here, y'all. Let's rewind a bit for those who missed the scoop on this lawsuit. So, once upon a time, Sausage Guy used to be Sniperwolf's favorite person alive and the love of her life, and they were married for almost 10 years. Anyways, Sausage Guy took her to court in early 2023. Well, it turns out things got messy after they split up. It all started when Sniperwolf tried to play him dirty after their separation, and it looked like Sausage Guy knew who he was dealing with, so he dropped a mega lawsuit that literally spilled all the tea on both Sniperwolf's career and image. While their relationship seemed all rainbows and sunshine, at least from what they used to show us online, but as they say, you only know someone's true colors during divorce. In the courtroom showdown, it came out that Sniperwolf wouldn't be swimming in cash if it weren't for Sausage Guy. Like, she wouldn't have made it even a quarter of her fortune without him, because apparently he wasn't a potato couch munching on potato chips and cashing in on her success. No, he was the brains behind the whole operation. Right off the bat, this was a super embarrassing situation for Sniperwolf because, let's be real, people had been saying it for ages, and it turns out that they weren't wrong. Not only did Sausage write the scripts for all her reaction videos, but he practically produced Sniperwolf's gameplay videos during her gaming days. And from this arrangement, they had a contract that they would split all the cash they raked in right down the middle. Talk about team effort. The drama started when, against better judgment, Sniperwolf decided to cut Sausage Guy off from their joint business. Not only that, Sniperwolf also stopped sending him his share of all the money the brand made, but luckily for Sausage Guy, he was smart enough to put everything in writing, and so filing for this lawsuit was pretty easy peasy. Sausage Guy laid his claims in a 23-page, carefully crafted document of solid proof that shook the very foundation of Sniperwolf's entire career, as it presented evidence that Sausage Guy was the real brain behind their YouTube success. This document narrated how Sausage Guy and Sniperwolf first went into business in 2012, and while Sausage Guy fixed everything, scripted, directed, filmed, did marketing, you name it, Sniperwolf's job was just to read the already prepared script out loud. The channel skyrocketed, gaining up to 33 million subscribers as of the time of that lawsuit. Remember, this entire time they were still splitting money 50-50. Plus, love was in the air, so it was a win-win. Due to their outstanding online success, the two formed a company, Channel Red, and by this time they were even getting brand deals and sponsorships. Everything was on fire. Unfortunately for them, while business was booming, the flames that kept their marriage warm grew colder and colder until it went frosty in 2022. Sausage Guy moved out, and that's when the drama started. Now, if you've been following Sniperwolf's list of scandals lately, then you already know she can be extremely insensitive, but most importantly, stupid. After separating from each other, Sniperwolf thought that she would be smart enough just to stop sending her ex money from their shared business. She would even plan with the brand manager to engage in business deals and arrangements outside Channel Red, which is the surest way to land in legal drama, and that's exactly what happened when Sausage Guy found out. As you will see later on, Sniperwolf's stupidity is the reason the education system needs to be reviewed, because it's one thing to steal other creators' content, but it becomes a completely different ballgame once the courts are involved. Sniperwolf stupidly decided to create multiple other YouTube channels, and I kid you not, guys, she would literally repost the exact same videos from her main channel, and so naturally, even these new channels still belong to Channel Red. That would mean money from these channels was still supposed to be shared equally between the two of of them. Remember, y'all, we aren't talking about pocket change here. These channels alone had already made a whopping $1.25 million, all of which Sssniperwolf pocketed. To make matters worse, not only did Sssniperwolf withhold information and money from Sausage Guy after their separation, but she even locked him out of their other shared social media platforms like Instagram and took away his hard drives. Some people are saying Sssniperwolf did all that to get back at Sausage Guy for dissolving their marriage, but apparently they'd been having marital issues throughout their union, but it looks like in 2022 Sausage Guy had had enough, so he filed a petition to dissolve the marriage, basically a divorce. Anyways, love, Sausage Guy was super frustrated at this point, and so he didn't miss a beat in his lawsuit. He made sure it was as detailed as possible. Okay, now let's move over to Sssniperwolf's response, which I'm sure you can already guess was a total clown show. It is a total mess. Just look at one of the documents and you'd wonder if she hired an attorney off of Craigslist. Sssniperwolf is just a joker and carefree human who thinks being pretty can get her out of every situation. She may have fooled YouTube into letting her dox saga fly, but we're talking about the court here, guys. We've had the privilege to have this broken down by a real lawyer. Shout out to Mad Catster, and trust me, it is as interesting just as it is shocking. All right, buckle up, loves. The drama reign is just getting started. The title of the lawsuit is gaslighting, and you can already tell the joke that this is going to be. All right, here we go. A bat and a ball cost $1.10 in total. The ball costs $1 more than the ball. How much does the ball cost? It gets worse, y'all. It literally gets worse. New York City is a large city in the United States. The moon revolves around the earth. A chicken has 4 legs. This doesn't seem real, y'all. There is no way a real lawyer would have included this in such a serious lawsuit. Could it be that Sssniperwolf wrote this on her own because it literally looks like something Sssniperwolf would do, but a real attorney? It doesn't even end there. There's a footnote saying, obviously a chicken does not have 4 legs, but it took you a second. For goodness sake, Sssniperwolf, that is not something that would take a toddler a second. Anyways, let's read on. Don't confuse Young's repeated statements as truth just because they have some air of familiarity. Most animals have 4 legs, which is why it took you a second. Repetition does not equate to reality. The court shouldn't fall prey to the illusory truth effect. People tend to perceive claims as truer if they have been exposed to them before. Young's claims should be heard in the family division. Basically, there's nothing new here. That long paragraph could have been summarized in literally one sentence because they just kept repeating that the court shouldn't believe anything Young says as truth. Oh, and by the way, Young is Sausage Guy's government name. Anyways, moving on. Now they have moved from gaslighting to the kitchen sink. Celeste concedes that some of the claims that Young makes are viable. Those claims are best heard in the family division in the dissolution proceeding and all stem from alleged breaches of fiduciary duty related to the waste community business Channel Red. If the court retains Young's claims, the derivative claims fail because Young did not comply with the derivative statute and failed to plead guilty with any specificity. Okay, fellow members of the jury, let me break this one down for y'all. So in simple terms, whenever an officer of a company has proof that some harm or threat is being done to the company, the first step is to report to the board of directors and ask them to look into the matter and stop the threat. If the board doesn't take any action, then that office can now file a lawsuit. And that's what Sssniperwolf and her lousy lawyer are claiming here. They're saying Sausage Guy did not take the matter to the board before heading to court. And this would have made sense, only in that case, it would mean Sausage Guy reporting his concerns to Sssniperwolf, who is the very same person brewing the problems. Like, it's just the two of them running the company, so how do you consult with the one kicking you out of something you created together? And then she acts surprised when Sausage Guy files a lawsuit. Now she's turned around to say that she should have been consulted before he headed to court. When people say this lady is delusional, this is exactly what they mean. Furthermore, going by Sausage Guy's lawsuit, he actually talked to Sssniperwolf countless number of times. But since when did Sssniperwolf start listening to logic? Moreover, the 4 remaining claims have no legs. This case is a breach of contract and a breach of fiduciary duty case. Everything else is excessive and doesn't fit if the court doesn't kick the whole thing over to the family division. Celeste requests requests that the court pare the claims down and streamline the litigation because 1. The implied covenant claim is redundant. 2. Young did not properly allege an intentional interference claim. 3. The conversation claim is really a breach of fiduciary duty claim. And 4. Accounting is a remedy. Again, there is nothing new here, guys. It is just words upon words from Sniperwolf's team insisting that Sausage Guy is being unreasonable to file this lawsuit and that these are petty issues that should be discussed within the divorce proceedings in the family court, which isn't true, but of course Sniperwolf wouldn't understand that company matters are different from their divorce issues. Sniperwolf has also made it apparent that she now wants to drop the Channel Red business arrangements as she no longer wants anything to do with Sausage Guy. The problem with Sniperwolf is that she just doesn't seem to understand that things can be diplomatic and peaceful. I mean, they could have just talked it out and buy out Sausage Guy instead of going the long route of kicking the poor guy out of the company he literally started. However, in Sniperwolf's true nature, she has to be unnecessarily ruthless and create bad blood with just about anyone else she disagrees with. In her response to Evan's claim that she's been intentionally interfering with Channel Red, Sniperwolf's team said, Young's factual allegations regarding elements of an alleged third-party contractual breach are so scarce as a hen's teeth. There she goes again with a chicken reference. He simply points to be formulaic regurgitations of elements that Shailesh had knowledge of Channel Red's contractual relationships and interfered with them. So in this section, Sniperwolf has actually admitted to having made side deals outside of the contract, but in her defense, the contract didn't indicate that she can't do that, and so she sees nothing wrong with working independently. Classic Sniperwolf response right there. According to Sniperwolf and her team, the court should dismiss Sausage Guy's case because the evidence doesn't support his allegations. In addition to all that, guys, isn't it funny how they're trying to convince the judge that Sausage Guy shouldn't be taken seriously just because he keeps repeating himself, while in their own countersuit, they've just repeated one point in literally every paragraph? And don't even get me started on the chicken reference, because I'm not in the mood to hear another word about a chicken having 4 legs. Anyways, they kept saying, this belongs in the family court. This belongs to the family court. Oh, and this one too. Tell Evan we will fix this in the family court. Until then, they maintained that this breach of contract wasn't a business matter, but a community matter. The only reason why Sniperwolf wants this matter transferred to the family court is because she won't lose much. This is because if the family court finds that she made money that he should have gotten a part of, she can't just pay him. But what Sniperwolf doesn't seem to understand is that it's not a matter of compensating Evan. She has to face the consequences of disregarding their business agreement. And so she stands to lose a lot of money. Sniperwolf's response has by far been the most ridiculous document in court. Like, there's just no way a genuinely qualified attorney would draft that. Someone even said, I am just convinced that she is used to getting her way and she's having a hard time getting over the fact that, like YouTube, the court isn't just going, yes, what can we do to protect you? This is literally the only logical reason why Sniperwolf didn't take this case seriously. In her eyes, nothing and nobody matters. And so she believes that not even the court can rule against her. I'm amazed that Sniperwolf's lawyers were able to get licensed to practice law in the first place. Isn't it pretty hard to study law and pass the bar exam in the US? Did a licensed lawyer write that opening, the moon and the chicken? It's so bizarre. I want the judge to respond to the filing and say, you must be clucking insane if you think this will fly in my court, before dismissing her case entirely and siding with Sausage. I would be downright insulted by the jokes and riddles they keep putting in their responses if I were the judge. It's extremely unprofessional. Even in my own profession, psychology and therapy, that would be considered unprofessional. I have a different opinion here, guys. Maybe Sniperwolf's lawyer hates her. Yeah, just hear me out. We could be out here wondering which pumpkin head of a human being wrote such a losing lawsuit, because personally, the more I combed through the document, the more I was convinced that this lawyer has dedicated their life to seeing Sniperwolf lose. I really won't be shocked, because Sniperwolf is such a piece of work, and there's a chance she's been harassing her legal team, so they decided to sink her. I mean, how else can you explain this madness? This brings us to the final chapter of this saga, and it actually confirms my claim. Yep, her lawyer hates her. The court has responded to her lawsuit where she was requesting for Sausage Guy's claims to be ignored and some to be transferred to the family court. Well, going by the amount of rubbish that they had included in that document, the court was definitely pissed because Sniperwolf's team mistook them for a comedy show. As you can already tell, their claims were flushed down the drain. Also, unlike Sssniperwolf's lawyer, the judge had no time for wordplay, so he went straight to the point. The court has reviewed and considered the following. A. Defendant's motion to dismiss filed on October 5th, 2023. B. Plaintiff's response to defendant's motion to dismiss filed October 24th, 2023. And C. Defendant's reply in support of motion to dismiss filed November 11th, 2023. The parties did not request oral argument, and the court does not believe it would be helpful. In short, the court has said that Sssniperwolf didn't even have a reason to file this motion in the first place because the court already has everything it needs to determine whether it will dismiss this case or not. There's already enough evidence or arguments to make a decision. Moving on. When reviewing a motion to dismiss for failure to state a claim, allegations in the complaint that are well pled are taken as admitted. In addition to well pled facts, the court is entitled to consider all reasonable interpretations of such facts. A motion to dismiss is not a procedure for dissolving disputes about facts or merits of a case. Now, this is the part that has had people questioning both Sssniperwolf and her lawyer's IQ. Because everyone and their dog knows that the court doesn't just throw away a case just because the defendant has filed a motion to dismiss. The court has to review the evidence and make a ruling based on the facts, so again, Sssniperwolf's filing this motion was a total waste of everyone's time. The order then said, instead of the narrow question presented by a motion to dismiss for failure to state a claim is whether facts alleged in a complaint are sufficient to warrant allowing the plaintiff to attempt to prove its case. Dismissal is only permitted when a plaintiff would not be entitled to relief under any interpretation of the facts susceptible of proof. In a nutshell, Sssniperwolf should have taken the money she used to hire that lawyer and enrolled in the online course on how to not trip over your own drama. Or maybe she should have bought a VIP ticket to the School of Common Sense, where doxing and stealing content are not part of the curriculum. Unfortunately, she'll need that lawyer again, because going by the heavy claim Sausage Guy has leveled against her, she should be prepared for yet another loss. Maybe Sssniperwolf should just buy a crystal ball to foresee the consequences of her actions. Here's the final ruling. The court finds that while complaint alleges claims that painfully overlap with the family court disputes, they are distinct and relate to contractual obligations and breaches. The direct and derivative claims on behalf of Channel Red are sufficiently pled. At this stage, plaintiff's complaint has stated claims for implied covenant, intentional interference with contract and business expectancies, conversation, and accounting. To be subject to court-ordered accounting, a defendant must appear to have entrusted with property of the plaintiff and, in consequence, to have become bound to reveal his dealings with. Good, cause appearing, it is ordered, denying defendant's motion to dismiss. So there you have it, guys. Sssniperwolf has lost on this one. This whole lawsuit is definitely going to drag on for a while, and it will be interesting to see how things will eventually go down between Sausage Guy and Sssniperwolf. Sssniperwolf can still serve us more dry jokes about chicken if she wants to, but one thing she should know, the legal system isn't YouTube, where she was forgiven just because she's pretty. If anything, she should have known better now that she's been arrested for armed robbery. She deserves everything that's going toward her. She got away with doxing, but she can't get away with this situation. Someone needs to tell her lawyers that starting pleadings with nursery rhymes doesn't put it in family court, LOL. I think Sssniperwolf wanted it in family court so she could just split everything 50-50 and move forward with future profits without any going to Sausage, and to keep it all to herself. Because the way it stands right now, all profits from the business has to be split 50-50 now and into the future, and it will be a bet loss to her finances. I'm glad this pathetic motion to dismiss got denied. I've been rooting for Evan Young for a while. Sssniperwolf has needed to be taken down a peg for a long time for all the horrible nonsense she's done. It's good to see this judge claims pretty straightforward too. Sssniperwolf, the queen of audacity, has taken a big whopping bite of her own humble pie. Let me know what y'all think about this down below, loves, and keep it here for all the latest news on these celebs and influencers.